Shalom, shalom, family. Again, it is super early because it seems to be easier to do these videos early in the morning. So it is now 6:37. I have a little time before work. I kind of got carried away yesterday, but I wanted to do a video because I have some people commenting on my page and saying things like, get out of this funk that you're in, and don't be so down. And I think people are missing the point, which tends to happen in our community. The channel is not about being depressed. The channel is not about being sad. The channel is not about placing blame or anything of that nature. The channel is about healing and about talking things out. I'm not going to have a negative day without having a positive one. So yes, yesterday was a bit emotional, but I'm here to say that the scripture that comes in mind is Psalms 30, verse 5, which says, for his anger is fleeting, and his favor is life. Joy cometh in the morning. Now, I'm not trying to cherry pick, but I'm taking that last part right there where it says joy cometh in the morning. And I feel like that applies to life, not just with the Most High. Because in life, yes, you go through things. Yes, you struggle. Yes, you may cry. Yes, you fall, but you are to get back up again. Yes, you have experiences. Yes, you have downtimes, but the point is to rise up and to rise to the occasion. If you are to be a beacon of light to others, you can't be a light if your light is dim, if your light has gone out. So, yes, I may cry. Yes, I may have some days. That doesn't mean that I'm not happy and that I'm not moving forward. It just means I want to work through what I've been through, which is not a negative thing. I think that we see healing as a bad thing. All I'm saying is that we don't talk about things and we don't deal with things. And some people want to deal with things on their own, and that's fine. I felt as though I had a lot to say, and I felt that it would be nice to share with people. I don't see it as a bad thing to be open. Some people are more private, and that is fine. That's why I offered my Instagram, my Facebook, and my email, because if someone wants to talk to me because I have gone through a lot of things and maybe they're going through their own personal things, I'm here to listen. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to talk. We all have a past. We are all supposed to shed the outer casing of our seeds when we first come into the walk and begin to grow. I am simply putting down roots and trying to grow because I realized that the things of my past were holding me back. I realized that the upset, the pain, the frustration was holding me back. I have no resentments towards anyone. Not anymore. And it took a while because, oh my gosh, there was some anger towards my ex-husband. There was some anger towards some of his family. There was some anger towards, people in the past that have hurt me. There has been anger and upset, but it says for us to be slow. Wait, is it? Hold on. Slow to anger. Slow to speak, slow to anger. But basically, I am not trying to get angry and be angry, unrighteously. Not being just about it. There's a just way to be angry, and there's an unjust way to be angry. There is a way to be sad and get through what you're going through, and there's a way to just sit there and, become depressed and dawdle. We are not to be depressed because that is dysfunctional. It's dysfunctional. When you're depressed, you're not able to move forward in life. You're not able to do the things that you need to do. This channel was not about me being depressed, because I'm not. This channel was about working through my issues and allowing women another platform to work through it, because often we are told that we're not able to. and that we're not supposed to and that we shouldn't. And I'm just saying that it's okay to talk. It's okay to listen. It's okay to be there. I want to be some form of encouragement because in this past year and a half, a lot of changes have happened. Oh my goodness, a lot of changes. Yes, I went through the divorce. Yes, I'm having to deal with being single mom, although honestly, in the marriage, I still kind of was single mom because he kind of did his thing and I kind of did my thing. But there's so many positives. Some of the bad people, well, quite a few of the bad people in my life are now out of my life. The Most High saw it fit to remove them from me. And I've been thinking that maybe that was the same thing with my ex-husband. Not necessarily saying he's bad, but just saying that he wasn't right for me. And that maybe the Most High made room for someone that will fit me and will do better for me. You know, a lot of us in this walk are being in situations or are in marriages where we are abused, where we're raped, where we're treated unjustly. And we stay because we feel like that's what we should do. We stay because we're afraid to leave. We're afraid to hurt. We're afraid to do everything on our own. And I'm literally an example of just that. I stayed in the marriage for too long. It was only 3 years, but I stayed for too long because I saw by day 3 it wasn't going to work. When I saw certain things in his phone, I saw things are not going to work. And I pulled away. Instead of working through them, instead of ending it then, I pulled away. And that's where it kind of snowballed. It's interesting to see how one action causes another action and how it can just trickle down and snowball and until it becomes something that you never expected, something you never saw coming. If I was honest with myself on day 3, once I saw what I saw, if I would have spoken up then, if I would have left then, if I would have made some changes then, maybe the marriage could have been different. Maybe we could have had a talk, well, more than a talk. I think that warranted some other stuff. But maybe we could have worked it out. But I didn't. I stayed silent. I was bothered by something. I said something, we had a talk, and I tried to act like it wasn't there. Which so many of us do, you know? We try to act like situations aren't there. Situations didn't happen. If we just don't talk about it, it didn't happen, and that's okay. And that's not. It's not. For the first time in my life, I'm actually so much more vocal about how I feel, about what I think, about what I'm going through, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful because I don't feel like I have to hold my tongue. There's a way to say what you feel and not be rude. Okay, let me put that out there. Not being rude, but there's a way to let someone know, hey, I'm not okay with this. Hey, that hurt me when you did this. Hey, I'm not comfortable with the fact that this, and this. I think that if I had done that in my marriage, a lot could have changed. But I stayed quiet. I mean, eventually when I did talk, it was more like bursting and it was like nagging, and no man wants to be nagged, and I didn't like being a nag. But the thing is that oftentimes we feel like it's best for us to be silent. And some of our men feel the same way. But how can things be better if you don't know what your partner is feeling, if you don't know what your partner is going through? And that's in all relationships. You know, if you have an issue with your sister and you don't tell her what's wrong, it literally tells us in Torah that we are supposed to come to those that we have a problem with. So isn't that kind of going against the Most High if you're not telling them that you have an issue? If you're not telling them that you're bothered? If you're not telling them that something hurt you? Because what in turn happens is you carry this resentment, this anger inside of you, and it festers and it grows. And it comes out in many different ways. And I think that's exactly what happened in my marriage and in some of my friendships. Definitely with my father. And even when I was younger, a little bit with my mom. Because I didn't understand things. And I didn't talk things out. And I didn't voice things. My thing has always been writing. Give me a pen and paper and I am golden. Writing songs, writing poems, writing raps has always been my outlet, which I do plan on putting on the channel when I get a little more work done. But that was always my outlet. That was always my way of expressing things. However, if I never said it to the person, it would relieve it for the moment because I'm getting it out. But I'm only getting it out to myself. Like when I said that I wanted to start this channel, one of my friends at work told me that I should go to a therapist. And I said, no, you're not understanding what I'm trying to do. You know, it's not just about me. You're talking to one person. It's about talking in general and making it okay to talk. It's about being a voice for those that don't talk. It's about providing some sort of encouragement. It's not about just being sad and working through my issues. You know, I'm not trying to just cry and cry and cry. There's no reason to keep crying. Yes, that was the end of something. That was the death of something. But there can still be life. My life is not over because he moved on. My life is not over because he has a baby. My life is not over because it didn't work. My life has just begun because I have transformed in so many ways in this past year and a half that I actually don't regret it. Because I'm a different person. I see life through different eyes. I understand the scriptures in ways that I didn't understand before. I am more detail oriented. I pay more attention to things. I am more vocal. I am more honest with myself and with others. Honestly, I didn't talk about a lot. I wasn't honest about a lot because I didn't know how to be honest. Not just with others, but with myself. I said things were okay when they weren't. I acted as though I was perfect when I wasn't. I portrayed myself in my head as this virtuous woman. But in truth be told, I made my ex-husband feel like less of a man. I wasn't playing the role I was supposed to be playing. I was the husband and the wife, and I emasculated him. So I can't actually blame him for cheating because he probably was looking for a woman that would make him feel like a man. And then I eventually wanted to find a man that made me feel like a woman. We were holding on to something that we shouldn't have held on to. He wasn't happy, I wasn't happy, but neither one of us wanted to say we weren't happy. And instead we kind of took turns hurting each other. I wasn't honest with the fact that I was emasculating him, that I was not giving him a chance to be the provider, to be the protector. I learned how to do those things because at one point he wasn't there, and I was holding on to those reins so tight, I didn't want to give him an opportunity to pass them and give them to him. I was so caught up in, I can do it myself. Like, I'm sure you can, but you're not going to do it right. Let me handle it. And that broke him because he felt not needed. He felt not wanted. And in turn, he made me feel the same way. But because I didn't see what I was doing, I continued to do it. When maybe if I just talked it out, if we had just spoken about it, maybe it could have been fixed. And he tried to tell me, but I was so caught up in my ways and in my thoughts, I didn't see it. This channel is about being open, being honest, shedding the mask that we put on every day. When he first left, I put on makeup and the tight clothes, and I put on a smile, and it seemed as though everything was okay. In the pictures, it looks great, but I wasn't okay. This year, I'm a lot more modest. I'm not wearing makeup. I'm not hiding behind anything anymore. I am shedding all the masks. I am shedding all the hurt, and I'm being honest about where I am in my journey. And I feel like that truth is so beautiful. It's so freeing. And it's so good to be at this point where I'm not feeling like I'm any less than. Where I can be honest about where I am. Am I perfect? Not by a long shot. But will I make a better wife for someone someday? Absolutely. Because I understand more about submitting. I understand more about allowing a man to be a man, allowing a man to lead. You know, allowing him to do simple things like opening the car door. Because not only does that make him feel good, but it makes you feel good. It makes you feel protected. It makes you feel loved. It makes you feel special. And over time, that builds just those small things. Build up to, you know, him getting a house for you, him, you know, paying for things, him taking care of you, him seeking to take care of you on more than a financial level. You know, him really being there for you and you being able to be there for him. You are supposed to be his backbone. You are supposed to be his peace. You are supposed to, when the day has been long and he has had a rough day, you are supposed to open that door and you are supposed to calm him, relax him. Our men are beaten down on a daily, and they need someone to just be there for them, to just love them, because they're told all day long how they're worthless, how, you know, they feel beaten down because they can't do everything that they want to do. Society's not built that way. They don't want us to come up. As I explained in the last video, it's all been about the destruction of the Black family by introducing homosexuality, by incarcerating our men, by, you know, promoting interracial dating, because they want to break down the Black family. What they are more afraid of than anything is for us to come together and to unite and to be strong as we once were. So this scares us. It scares them that we are doing these things, that we are coming together, that we are attempting to nation build, that we are attempting to grow. And when I say nation build, I do not mean, you know, having the multiple wives thing, because to me, nation build is more than that. Nation build is about, nation building is about starting from inside the home. If I and my husband are acting the way that we should, and we are teaching our children as we should, then they will learn how to treat others and how to treat family members and how to treat friends and how to be in a marriage. And it all trickles down in a good way. There's a way to spread positivity and there's a way to spread negativity. My goal is to spread positivity and to help to inspire. It has been a hard year, yes. I have cried many tears. There have been times where I wanted to call him and fix it and ask him to come back. There have been all those times. But in those times of struggle and those times of hurt and those times of despair, I have found out so much about myself. And I've grown in so many ways that I didn't think that I could. And I'm proud of that. I am happy to be here and to be growing and to be a new person. There is nothing bad about when someone leaves. because that person may not have been what you needed. They could come back. If it's family members, they could come back and maybe they'll learn something from it. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't blame him for leaving. I don't blame myself for allowing him to leave. It took a lot because it hurt. When you love somebody, it hurts. But you have to trust in the Most High and trust that He has a plan for you. Sometimes they may leave and they may come back, and then it may be stronger than ever. Sometimes he may have just needed to leave. He could have been blocking my blessing. I could have been blocking his. There's no shame in that. So no, I am not depressed. I am not still wanting my ex-husband. I am not broken in the ways that I can't be repaired. This is actually about breaking and building myself back up. And maybe in this journey I can help build someone else back up. There will be bad days. There will be days where I am crying, and I mean crying, like the ugly cry, like when you got the ugly face crying. And there may be times when I am happy and everything is beautiful. And that is okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I want everyone to understand that you can grow, that you can be. And it's okay. It's okay. So with all that being said, I want to wish and pray for peace, light, love, hope, prosperity, wealth, not just in the ways that you would think as far as money, but internally. It says that in Yahushua we become new creatures. We can't become new if we're still holding on to the old, if we're still dwelling on the past, if we're still in that pain. So all that I'm saying is to just become anew, to grow, to let go, to shed that skin. For once, sisters, let your hair down, to feel what you're feeling, to not be afraid of what you feel, but to not wallow in it, because that's where the issues come. That's where the depression comes. It's okay to feel what you feel. Have your moment. Have your day or two. And understand and see the positives. Because this year has been a beautiful year for me. I did purchase my home that I always wanted for my children. I did get another car, which, I mean, it's better because the car that I had was really, really small. So it's good that I was able to do that. I built long-lasting friendships within my sisters that were like friends like I never had. I have a support system I never had. I got closer to my mom. I got to understand more so of what she was saying about my ex-husband and about the lives that we were building, about the way we were going about the marriage. I even had closer conversations with my father after. I grew in ways that I hadn't before. I was able to see my ex-husband's side. I was able to relate. I was able to now understand what people go through and understand human psychology and understand our mind more so. And I was able to see what I was thinking, what I was going through, why I was going through it. I was able to pick out everything that I did wrong in the marriage so that I won't do the same thing when I move on to my next. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to see things that I could not see while in it. Sometimes you got to take a step back. You have to reevaluate. And you have to see, okay, we always say this person did this. Realizing that when you're pointing this finger, that you have 3 others pointing back at you. And I couldn't see the light. I was so deep in the tunnel, I couldn't see the light. I finally took off those glasses and I finally looked around and I started heading towards that light. And I started to see what was wrong with me. I've had a year and a half of working on myself. Do I still have more work to do? Absolutely. But I've had a year and a half of growing, a year and a half of understanding, a year and a half of love. And part of the reason why my marriage didn't work was also because I didn't love or understand myself. If I loved myself, I would have been able to speak up. I would have been able to do different things, and I didn't. Now, I can. Now I know how to speak to someone without being harsh, without being rude, without being mean, to get my point across, to not curse as much, because I did curse. I learned how to talk. I learned how to feel, how to be open, how to stop closing off myself. I know that I have walls. I have guards up for days. I've learned to bring them down some. I've learned that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to tell someone how you feel. Those are things I had no idea about. Those are things I didn't even know where to begin to do these things. It is beautiful to be vulnerable. As women, we are supposed to have vulnerable moments. We are delicate. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling what you feel. There's nothing wrong with a man being vulnerable either, especially when it's with his woman, because that brings you closer together. There's nothing wrong with being open. This charade of our men having to be so strong and not talk about things, our women having to be so strong and handle things on our own, is what is breaking our families up. We need to learn to be vulnerable with each other. We need to learn to love each other, to speak to each other, to grow with each other. That is the important thing. That is what we need. That is how we build our families back up. If you heal and learn how to heal, then when you are with your husband, you'll be able to help him heal. But if you're not healed, how can you heal him? How can you help him? How can you be his peace when you have so many emotions bottled up? You can't. So this is not about being sad and crying. This is about being a voice, having a voice, learning to use that voice, growing in the Most High, growing in His presence, learning yourself so that you can be a better wife and be a better mother, be a better sister, be a better daughter. That is what this is about. I have done a whole 180 from the person I was a year ago. I am nowhere near the same, nor will I make the same mistakes, nor will I emasculate my husband, nor will I speak to him any kind of way. I saw my faults and I grew from it. That's what this is about. It hurts, yes. I will cry, yes. I loved him so much. But I learned how to love and love right, not wrong. And I'll be able to take that into my next marriage, not get a divorce ever again, and really learn how to work on things and talk. Talking, communication is key. Trust is key. Without those things, it will crumble. We didn't have that. So it crumbled. I went through this and now I know exactly what not to do and who not to be. And that's beautiful. So with that, I wanted to offer some encouragement, some light, saying that there is light at the end of the tunnel, saying that there are opportunities, there are smiles, there are ways to get through. If you are with someone, if you are not with someone, if you are getting over the hurt of being with someone, if you are whatever it is that you're going through, know that there's someone that's going through it also. And know that there is a light, there is an opportunity, there is growth, there is change. There is someone that you can talk to. That's what this is about. As I said, if I help 5 women, I will feel like I've done a job well done. So with that, I need to go to work. So I will speak to you guys later. Maybe if I warm up my voice or something, I can sing. But this was also an outlet for my poetry, for my rapping, for my singing, a way to get through. I do want to make some Hebrew music, so if there are some producers that can help, I am definitely looking into it. So with that, family, I want to wish you and pray for you the most eye-opening experience, and growth and love and faith, prosperity and wealth. With that, I say shalom. Bye-bye.